Hey everybody, so I just decided to pick up the camera and kind of film myself as I work on my nursery. For those of you that have watched the previous video, I had mentioned that I have this kind of wacky idea for a fantasy inspired woodland elf type of fantasy nursery for my coming little girl. I am currently 18 weeks pregnant, so let me show you guys what that looks like. Happens to be a mirror here. Belly is definitely coming out a lot more. And this is the actual room I'm going to be working on. In the last video, I mentioned that there is a fake blood stain on the floor that I have to figure out how to fix that. And this is my challenge. It's, I would say, maybe like 2 inches, which sucks. And it's like right in front of the closet, so not an easy place to hide. My mom was like, why don't you just put something on top of that? And it's kind of an awkward place. You can't really do that. But this is the room of the future nursery. Let me get as good of an angle as I can here. That curtain definitely has to go because I know that newborns are very susceptible to light, so I want to make it really dark in here. I would say this room has to be maybe like 10 by 10. I don't know, I'm not super good at math and eyeballing it. So it's definitely not our biggest room, but it's pretty sizable for a nursery. It has this little micro closet that I think is perfect for a little one. And we are actually renovating another property right now. So I cannot work as I plan to on basically cutting out this stain and taking a piece from the carpet here and basically taking this stain, removing it, putting it, tucking it back here, and taking this good piece of carpet and putting it here. I can't do that because all of our stuff is in the property that we're renovating, and I'll probably make some videos about that too, because I guess this will be our DIY channel. So instead, what I plan to do today is work with my dogs on some funny photos that I think will work with the nursery theme. I plan to have my dogs kind of like in a magical wood elf setting, and maybe I'll put like little funny hats on them and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring them in here. I'm gonna bring out my green screen, set that up, and then I'll edit those videos on Photoshop and kind of show you guys how I'm doing it and what I'm using to print out the photos, which obviously that takes a long time because I do it online and they probably won't show up right away, but you'll get a good idea of the process. And yes, I have a couple of things here that I need to move, not that much stuff, but yeah, I cleared out this nursery practically by myself. And that's fine. I like to get a little exercise. We used to have all this other stuff in here, but now I moved it to this like chaotic room that's like become the everything room. This was going to be the at-home gym, but you know, now I'm pregnant, so we need a nursery. So things changed and I just had to move everything somewhere. So I just moved it into that room. But yeah, here are the doggies that I'm gonna use. Hey, dogs, come here. So this is Evie. She's gonna be the star today. And then that's Cooper. Whoa, sorry, my lens just fell off my camera. All right, I think I've got everything in place. I wanted to use my proper green screen, but it's completely full of wrinkles right now, which is, if you know anything about green screen, you do not want any wrinkles. Hey, Evie and Cooper, they're already here. They're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna be using my Sony a7S camera to shoot them, which is probably super overkill, but whatever, it's the camera that I have and I use. I got my little mini green screen, which is this kind of texture that it doesn't really wrinkle that much, so it should be really easy to key them out. All I need to do now is figure out a way to prop this up. So I think I'm just gonna bring in 2 chairs and that'll be it, because I do have like a proper green screen rail thing, but it's just way too much to be shooting these tiny little dogs, and I think I'll be just fine with that. I brought my chairs in. I'm starting to realize filming this that I'm developing pregnancy breath. Like everything I say, I'm like, and I don't usually sound like that. I sound like that kid from Malcolm in the Middle, if you remember who I'm talking about.
You're a jerk.
Anyway, so this should be interesting and fun. Hopefully these guys give me an easy time. So yeah, this is it's basically it. There's definitely a couple of wrinkles, but I'm not too worried about it. I've had to work a lot of crazy stuff in post-production before. I know I'm not like the best at Photoshop, but I can do a thing or two on Premiere and After Effects and that type of stuff. I used to edit for different kinds of companies and brands before I started doing this real estate thing more, the stay-at-home mom DIY type of stuff that I do now. Like we rent out properties, and I was also bartending for a minute, so that's kind of like what I do now. But yeah, this is gonna be my setup, and this should be perfect because these dogs are really small. One's a Spaniel, one's a Chihuahua, long-haired Chihuahua, and a Spaniel. And they loved attention, so this should be pretty easy, right guys? You guys are giving me an easy time. So yeah, a green screen, the idea is it works with color, so the brighter and unnatural the color is, the easier it is to key out. Some people also use blue if they're wearing green. I should have no trouble at all with the dogs. There might be a little bit of reflection off the green screen that I need to watch out for. And basically, hopefully Photoshop will do most of the work for me. I'll take these photos and pop it right in and put funny little hats on them, put them in a forest environment, and then I'll send those off to print. And I already have some photos of my husband and I in kind of like a wood elf environment, you could say. So that works perfect for the theme of the nursery and perfect for what we're doing here today. And I just think it'll be funny to like kind of have these pictures of like us and the dogs in this environment. All right, sit. Good job, Cooper. Show her how it's done. Cooper's a pro at this. He's been doing this for a minute. All right, guys, I just need you to be cute in front of the green screen. All right. I think the lens that I chose for this is probably not the best. So I think that this is actually not gonna work because Cooper is longer than the green screen, and I'm having a hard time with this this lens at this distance. So I'm gonna try to do it with my vlogging camera. All right, this is a lot easier. I could just take stills from here. Good job, whoop, whoop, okay. Nope, that's definitely not sit. Evie. Do you know how to sit, baby? Come on. Okay. You guys, that's not where the green screen is. Hey, come on. Over here. Over here. All right, good job. We're getting closer. What? I think I might have gotten a still right there. Cooper, sit. Good job, Cooper. You know, I just noticed that their bandanas are on, and that might bone my shot. So I need to take off their bandanas and their collars so that if I want to put something on them and post, it's a lot easier. Evie. Hey, Evie. Who's a good girl? I think I got a shot there. Why'd you come here? So far, Evie's actually showing Cooper how it's done. Sit. Good job. Hey, Evie. Are you a good girl? Are you a good girl, Evie? Yeah, you're a good girl? You have to be a good girl, Chihuahua? I think I could definitely pull some stills from that. Might be totally usable. Cooper, on the other hand, Cooper, you're supposed to be showing her how it's done, buddy. Come over here, buddy. Come here, Cooper. Yep, whoop, sit. Sit over, come over here. All right, sit, Cooper, sit. All right, Cooper, we're getting somewhere. All right, I think. No, Evie, stop distracting Cooper. She's over here trying to steal the toy from him. Hold on. Cooper, you're so much larger than Evie. She's very tiny. What? Wait, Evie, stop shaking me, Evie. This might be usable. Might be a usable shot. Hold on, Evie, I need to make sure your brother looks just as good as you. Alrighty, Cooper. Evie, you had to walk right in front of him, huh? Cooper, are you a good boy? Cooper, are you a good boy? You a good boy, Cooper? I think I could probably pull some stills from that. Let's pop this into the computer and see how this goes before these dogs bite off my hand for a little toy right here. Whee! All right, it is now later in the day. I scrubbed through all my footage and I was able to pull 11 photos. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Evie and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of Cooper. What I basically did is I dropped it all into into Premiere, and I bookmarked where I thought I could pull a still. Hold on, because it's hard for me to see myself. Okay, there we go. And so I just basically did that. I just scrubbed through and I was like, oh, hey, I can use that. I can use that. So I think we have some very usable options here. I'm just going to see which ones I think is going to be the best for my project, and we'll take it from there. All right, so I decided to go with photo 7 for Evie, which is this one. I think she's just really cute there. She has a cute little, what are you doing type of thing. It's a little bit dark, but we'll brighten it up and we'll key her out and it should look pretty good. And so I'll drag that right into Photoshop. I just have a 1920 by 1080 canvas going on. And then for Cooper, I chose this photo, which I felt like was kind of like Evie's photo. You know, it's a little bit to the side, so maybe I'll put them facing each other. And then maybe a picture of my husband and I in our little fantasy wood elf thing that I should probably show you guys because I keep talking about it and I haven't showed it yet. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So these are the pictures that I've been talking about that I've kind of made my husband and I into these like elf creatures, woodland, fairy. I might revisit this Photoshop file and mess with it some more just to maybe make them all uniform or just more magical. I'm not sure. They're not so bad now, but I wasn't very serious when I made this at the time. I kind of made it as a joke, just something that I thought would be funny and cool. This is my husband, and here's me. So we basically went hiking on a waterfall trail, and I took some of our photos and I just kind of went crazy with them out of the blue. I don't know, I just wanted to do that. So I thought that was really funny, and I actually have like pointy ears and stuff here, and I think I gave him pointy ears too. No, you can't really see because his hair and stuff. But yeah, those are, that's us, and that's what we're going for, something like that. Maybe I'll brighten it up, making it a little bit more appropriate for daughter's nursery, but I just think it's funny that I already have those things. So as far as our current project, we'll start with Cooper. And I think it's a good idea for me to move myself so you guys could see my layers a little bit better. Okay, I think that that is a better setup. So hopefully everybody could see what I'm doing if you are so interested and you want to do something like this for your daughter's room, or perhaps you are just curious. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm going to start by rasterizing this layer. Just click rasterize. I already brightened Cooper up a little bit. And you can see Evie's layers underneath there, and under there is a default background. And I'll just go ahead and actually I'll keep that because sometimes it's useful to see if I've been messy in my keying out. I'm going to mute Evie's layer so I could see what I'm doing. And I'll press W to see if Magic Wand could, whoops, could pick up what I'm doing here. Okay, deselect that. Let's see. Yeah, Magic Wand. Let's give that a shot. Okay, so that's it's gotten a lot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete, 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 delete. There's easier ways to do this. There's all kinds of ways to do this, but I'm just doing it like this for now. So you could pick color ranges and select that. And Photoshop's pretty good at finding colors and basically figuring out what you're talking about. And like I said, I am not the best at Photoshop. There are people that are way better than me. But yeah, I'm just kind of lazy, and I guess I'm old and not willing to learn too much. I don't know. I don't use Photoshop that much to get to go ham in it. I know you could really do a lot of cool stuff in here, but I just kind of use it at this point for my own little passion projects. Even when I was working professionally as an editor, like I wasn't really messing too much in Photoshop. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to remove all the green around Cooper so that I can stick him wherever I want. I'm gonna zoom in here, get up in his little doggy face and just kind of clean it up a little bit. I might do a color selection and see if Photoshop's gotten a lot better with color selection to see if maybe we could just take out certain colors. Okay, it's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'm just gonna, go through and tighten this up a little bit. All right, so there is Cooper keyed out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try different colors on the 0 layer just to make sure that he is good to go. So let's pick our paint bucket and let's see. Okay, so it looks like there's a little pixelation there. That's why it's good to do different colors in the background to make sure that we're all keyed out. Like I said before, there are definitely easier ways to do this. I actually used to know a way to do this that was a lot cleaner and more effective, and it had to do with like selecting color range, but I forgot, and it's been like a pretty long time since I've had to use Photoshop. I'm also not like super serious about this project because it's mostly like fun for me type of thing. So I don't want to make myself too stressed and start like looking at all these tutorials and like freaking out about perfection. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'm not super worried about it being perfect. Once again, I'm probably going to put him in front of green things anyway. All right, just wanted to try one more color to see if any green would pop up because apparently this is the opposite of green according to the color wheel. It's a violet, red, orange. That's what it says. Okay, I will believe it. Sure. Looks good to me. So I'll mute Cooper, put Evie up. First thing we'll do is we'll rasterize the layer and we'll brighten her up. Great job. Awesome, awesome. Let's see, Magic Wand. Let's see. I don't really know how to use that tool as much as this is like old school Photoshop as this other. They always add newer things, and it's hard for us older people that have been dealing with these programs for so long. Yeah, so pretty good, pretty chill. Let's see, that's pretty good. Look how it just does it so quickly, so seamlessly. Oh, she has so much green over here. I'm gonna have to do something because she's gonna lose way too much of her. If I erase all that, she's gonna look really funny. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make multiple layers and kind of mess around with it. So I'm gonna get my magic selection tool. Such a small area that she has this green, the green from the green screen is showing, that I want to see if I could just save that somehow without having to give her too much of a haircut like I've been doing. I'm going to try color overlay. Let's see. And then I'm going to try to take out the greens. I'd say that's much better. So I'm just going to merge these. And then I'm just going to use my magic healer brush and just kind of dab around. That's a lot better. Now I just gotta clean up the last of the little green furries around her face by just erasing them. Okay, I am back. And so I took another layer of her ear and I used the magic lasso tool. I kind of cropped the outside of her ear and I did another color effects overlay with the hard light. I probably should have done that before and I probably wouldn't have had to have cropped as much of her ear, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it'll definitely look good enough for our purposes. It doesn't look like there's any residual green spots. Try different colors here. Yeah, no, she looks keyed out. I mean, there's a little bit of green here. I'll just go in and do what I did with the other side so we don't lose too much of her hair. So I'll get my lasso tool and kind of just take this little spot right here. Okay, control, whoops, I'm on the wrong layer. I gotta make sure I'm on the right layer. Copy, paste, and we'll do a color blend, rather color overlay. And I think the correct color is going to be different this time. It's going to be like closer to that. There we go. And then maybe just take down some greens from the layer using curves. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but we'll go ahead and merge all these layers back together. The reason why I work in layers like that is so you can go back and adjust things if you need to, or you know, it's what is it called? Non-destructive editing, that's what it is. So it's best to do that just so you could go back and correct any of your mistakes. So I asked my husband if I should have us all together or in different pictures. He said to just do different pictures. I'm wondering if I should rip off one of these backgrounds. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just put these guys in their own special little forest thing. All right, so I decided to go with this background for Evie, And I went with a similar aspect ratio background for Cooper. I'll just show you in a second. Let me just mute her layers. And so then here's Cooper. Okay, clearly this is a completely different canvas size aspect ratio than we were first working on, so I have to scale everything to size. And I decided that I wanted to print them 8 by 10 so they'll be nice and big, and this is a perfect background to have it as such. So I'll just go ahead and size up Cooper and the background. Okay, and I'll work a little bit more on the background. I think that this one's AI generated, I'm not sure. I went on Pixabay to find the background photos. I think that that's actually pretty nice. Let's see, you know, we could have a little bit more of the castle in there. Of course, it doesn't fit perfectly. I'm not too crazy. Like, I don't need the castle in there. I just thought that that was nice. Maybe we just, yeah, kind of zoom it in a little bit more because really we're going for more of a nature thing and probably shouldn't have too much of man-made structures in these kind of fantasy photos that I'm working on. So let's put Cooper in the right spot as well. Oh, I just noticed that I changed this so you guys can't really see what I'm doing as much as far as layers. I should probably be good and rename my layers. So that's Cooper, and this is the castle. That's already conveniently named Castle. Thank you, Pixabay. And I think that that is good for that. Let's take Cooper, kind of move him a little bit. Let's see, I do want to show a little bit of that water back there. Let's see, how big do we want Cooper? I don't want him to be like absolutely taking over everything. And I do want to see a little bit of the background. So I think that that's pretty good. There we go. Something like that. Great. So that's Cooper with his background. Now we could work on Evie. So we got Evie's background here. Let's size her background up first. Make it full. Hers fits perfectly, so nothing is lost. I think this is very appropriate for a little girl and Evie. And let's put Evie in there. She's really small right there because I had to mess around with different backgrounds to see which one I wanted her in there. And so yeah, so I had messed around with her a little bit. And let's see, I'll make her fairly large. There we go. This is really ridiculous, but I love it. I'm having way too much fun. This is the fun part, right? When you get to be creative and stuff. It's funny because earlier I said, oh, they'll be in front of green stuff, so it won't matter if there's some green on them. But yeah, clearly not the case. But it still looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna do some layering on them, and I need to get my assets ready. I'll be right back. All right, I am back and I got my first asset here. It's just a cute little elf hat for Evie. So I'm gonna try to make it look like it fits and that it's natural. Of course, right now it looks a little wonkadoodle. So first of all, I'm gonna just kind of tilt it like that because her head is kind of tilted, and then position it. And I do want her ears to come through. So I'm just gonna kind of like erase the parts that don't make sense, and hopefully that looks pretty killer. There we go. I think that's pretty funny. Let's see. It looks pretty good. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fantasy. It's not real. I'm gonna see what it looks like with maybe a little bit more of her ear on the right exposed. So I'm just gonna copy the layer and work on a duplicate in case I don't like it. I do like more of her ear showing than less. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna try to like make it look like it's going around your ear. So I'm gonna use the this other layer that I have here. I just noticed again that you can't see everything I'm doing. Sorry, my other screen is so big that like it's hard for me to capture it all. So yeah, I like that. I'm just gonna use this bottom layer to try to manipulate the situation so it looks like she almost has like a band going around her ear. So I'm gonna label this top hat so I don't get confused, and this is bottom hat. And then also we have Evie here. Alrighty. So I'm gonna, tripping me out. I need to see both of the hats. So I'm gonna take this bottom one, kind of move it like that. Try to make it look like a continuation, if you will, that wraps around her ear. So I get my lasso tool, I select the part that I want to keep, and then I inverse the selected part and delete. Okay, yeah, something like that. It looks a little wonky right now, but I think we can make this work. Let's deselect it. And then I kind of move it into position. I got more than I needed because it's better to have more than less, because it's part of that, there we go. It's part of that reasoning of, you know, trying to keep as much as possible so that if you mess things up, it's super easy to go back. Okay, great. So that's more or less the look we're going for. Then I will take my eraser and just kind of erase it till I think it makes sense. Try to make it look like it's a little headband almost. And yeah, I think that's good. I might have to get rid of her hair back there. Let me see, maybe if I... Yeah, I think that little hair back there kind of doesn't make sense. Let me undo. I'm gonna get rid of this little hair of Evie's right here because I think it just doesn't make sense visually to have it there. If we're trying to do this like band that's going around and you're like, whoa, what's that hair doing sticking out there? Alrighty. Looks better. Okay, that makes sense. And then I will take the bottom hat part, just kind of okay. That looks pretty good. And kind of do this to clean it up a little bit, just to make it look a little bit more uniform. That's great. So then we can merge these layers. Oops, not that. We'll merge the hat layers. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Usually I keep a copy of every step, like the hat and this way, the hat that way, but I'm just kind of going with it. All right, so let me see. Let me not delete that. I think this looks pretty good. It kind of makes sense, except for Evie's ears clearly going in through it on one side. I feel like on the other side it looks a little bit like how is it possible that her ear is going through that? So I think we need to delete some hair of hers on the other side too to make it a little bit more believable. So I'm going to duplicate Evie, paste her it, because I don't like what I did. I'm going back, and I'm just going to erase parts that I think don't make sense for the hat. You know what? I realize it's actually the hat that I need to do some work with. All right, I think that's pretty much good to go. You know, it definitely looks, you know, like it's a fantasy silly thing, and that's what it's supposed to look like. I might put a border on it, but first I want to work on Cooper having a little asset, a little funny thing, and I will be right back when I have that asset ready. So I'm thinking I'm going to do this like kind of a Shakespearean fantasy collar, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, so I'm just going to prep them both, and maybe I'll do a blend and kind of give Cooper his own unique little DIY thing. Before I do too much work on any which one, I'm gonna just kind of see how they look like very loosely. Oh, this is hilarious. If my dog only knew what I was doing to his image, he'd probably be like, oh, what? Yeah, something like that. Not perfectly, you know, not perfect, but I'm just trying to get a feel. I do think that I like this one more. I think this is funny. Might look better if we make Cooper larger. I didn't want to hide too much of the background, but let's see. I think just a little bit of the water showing is good. And I think I will just go ahead and put this other one kind of in my things I'm not using list, which is just titled Group 3 right now. Okay, so that's what I have so far. I think we can do a bit more here, but I like where this is so far. All right, so I'm gonna see how this goes, but I am basically deciding to do the clone stamp tool and kind of creating my own little border using the image details that we already have. So I'm going to try to see how that works. That's pretty cute. Now I feel like I could maybe make Evie herself more interesting, maybe mess with her colors, maybe the color of her hat. So I'm going to mess with her hat first. Yeah, I kind of like that more. I think I want to make the feather also like a different color. I know it's like a little thing, but you know, it's kind of about the details at this point. All right, I'm gonna see what my husband says about this. Hey, I'm back. I just found this background. I'm gonna see if it is appropriate. Maybe we put it on, whoa, that's way too trippy. Yeah, hard light, soft light. Let's see. Might also just need to move it. Whoa, that is so cool. Pin light and then like that, but perhaps a different layer or maybe not at all. Let me move this back behind Evie. Does it really need this? It does look cool. Let me see, blending options, and I I realized that I have to make my Photoshop so much smaller than I'm used to because my resolution on the screen is so large. So let's see if I put the opacity like yeah. Maybe something like this, and then also move it down, move this up. Let's see, this is probably not necessary. It is cool. I do like it. I feel like it's almost there, but it's just something that I don't like about it. Let's see, maybe it is, the opacity is too much. Maybe it just needs a dab, like a 10. Let's see. I kind of like that because it brightens it up a little bit. I know it's not a major difference, but I do want this to be as bright and cute as possible. So, and I feel like there's still something that I could do to razzle dazzle Evie even more. And my husband did say he wanted to keep the elf look on her. Maybe I should just be satisfied with that. Maybe I need to put a collar on her like I put on Cooper. Oh, okay. I think that this might be what we're talking about here. Yeah. I think this is the razzle dazzle that we were missing. So I definitely want to change the colors on this because it's a little bit drab and dark. But I'm going to mess with this. We'll see how this goes. All right, it's not perfect yet, but I just want to mess with the color to see if this could be possibly taken up a notch. Let's see, let's do some color overload. Oh, all right, so that's already pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe a little bit even too much, but I'm kind of like loving the too much. I don't know. I'm kind of loving too much right now, I think. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now, that color. The shape needs work, so I'm just gonna go ahead, work on the shape. So I used the puppet warp, and I'm gonna send this to my husband who is currently at work while I'm doing these ridiculous things. And I'm gonna see what he thinks. BRB. So my husband already gave me the all clear really fast. I guess he happened to be looking at his phone because last time I waited quite a while for his feedback. So he says this is good to go. I think this is good to go. I think this is gonna be hilarious. I'm already laughing. So I hope she appreciates all this. I'm already having a good time and appreciating all this. So I'm just gonna work on finishing up Cooper. And here we have Cooper. Let me just get him into frame. And that was the final hat combo. I brightened up his Shakespeare fluffy thing, his collar, I guess. And so that's going to be Cooper. I think that's pretty good to go as is. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Take care.